Today's Dirt Path devotional comes from 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 39. David put on Saul's sword over his clothes. He walked around for a while in all that armor because he wasn't used to it. "I can't go out there in all this armor," David said to Saul. "I'm not used to it." So he took it off. In this verse, David is getting ready to square off against Goliath. Remember, there's been a stalemate between the nation of Israel and the Philistines, and because Goliath, this giant, came out and was challenging them to the Israelite champion to a fight, but all of Israel was too afraid to go face this giant. And so until David shows up, and David sizes him up. Here's the taunts he's making towards the people. Here's the taunts he's making really towards Israel's God. And so he decides to do something about it. And after some back and forth between his brother and King Saul finally agrees to let David go fight Goliath. But he dresses David up in his battle armor. Not David's battle armor, but King Saul's own battle armor. The problem with that is that armor was made specifically for Saul, and it didn't fit David right. And so if David had actually worn that armor into the battle against Goliath, he would have probably been crushed because he's not used to wearing it. So instead, he's going to face Goliath with the things he's used to wearing as a shepherd, and he's going to do battle with Goliath as a shepherd. So what's that have to do with you and I? Well, in the New Testament, Paul tells us in Ephesians 6 that we are to put on the full armor of God, right? The helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the belt of truth, the shoes of the gospel, right? He tells us to put all these things on, the battle armor, as we go about living our lives. But here's the thing, Paul also tells us in another letter that we are to work out our salvation with fear and trembling. So when we put on the full armor of God, yes, we're all going to be putting on the same elements of faith. It's going to be the faith and the same salvation from God. It's going to be the same breastplate of His righteousness. But the way we wear that armor is going to fit differently with each and every one of us. We're going to have to work it out and form it to fit us as we're all facing different battles and fighting in different battles. We're up against different struggles. So we can't wear one another's armor. We have to learn to wear our own.